Earbuds Podcast, presented by Headliner Music Club.
Welcome back to the Earbuds Podcast, episode number 13. Lucky
Holy
13.
moly guacamole.
Dude, it's like Halloween season 13. This is all fitting. This is really good. And the holy guacamole, I wasn't expecting that already. So thank you, for kicking that off, man. Trying to throw me off already.
Off at a good start.
Yeah, man, I feel great. We got our guy Kazi on here from New York City. What's up, Kazi?
Yo, it's good.
Yo.
We're going to get into his segment coming up. Also, we have some new chart entries, Sneaky Slappers' favorite NYC slappers, because we got two guys on here from New York City, so might as well give them some love. Also, what's the scenario? What are you playing at a Halloween party? Because there's a lot coming up this weekend. Also, your edit submissions and 10 questions with Kazi. So we'll get into that. I got some shout outs real quick. Dex Mike, listen to the podcast. We got Kazi, a minor, of course.
That's Dex
professor?
MKE. That's Dex Milwaukee.
Dex, what I say?
Dex Mike.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Come on,
okay, first of all,
dog.
I actually know Dex because he lives in Nashville. Okay, this is not a good start. All right. Anyway, Dex from Milwaukee. That's what I meant. I'm reading notes here, so I'm not really. All right. Anyway, the professor Don Juan, who we had on the podcast a few months back, and then 5. You got some?
Compose from Hawaii. What up, brother? Mr. Diesel from Nashville. You know, always sending me edits and shit. Shout out to him.
Cool.
I've got the new New Yorker audio, DJ Audio.
Oh yeah,
ODDEO. Yep.
He's in New York now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How did he like migrated from San Francisco? Then he went to LA, right?
No, he went to like fucking Whittier or some shit. No.
It was like
just
something.
say LA.
It was like Orange, like deep Orange County or something like that.
Yeah. He was like in Westminster.
Wow. I mean, I don't even know why we're
Little
laughing
Saigon
at Westminster.
and
I love everybody in Westminster, but that was funny.
thought
We got
about-
audio, and I just worked with these two guys. They're old friends of mine, Callie Dre and Geronimo from Sirius XM.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
that's it. That's all I got.
Kazi, you got any shout outs to anybody, friends, family?
Shit, everybody, bro. This is my first. Actually, my sister's birthday is Halloween, and it's coming up, and I'm not sure if she's
yeah.
gonna be in the city for it. But shout out, Alex.
I don't think she listens to this podcast, but we're gonna shout out to your sister.
She will
out
now.
to her.
Hell yeah.
I'll clip it.
Cool. 5, what you got going on, man? Anything new?
We just had a open house at Keys last Saturday. Eric and I, we do all house music, and we got throwing a curveball, and Yeet decided to do his release party the same night.
I saw the video of that. Yeah, it looked wild.
Yeah, it was wild. Actually, he came right at like 12:45, so it was perfect. So we played from, all house till 12:45.
Then what? You switch it to hip hop when he got in the room, or what?
Well, it went from John Summit straight to fucking Lil Tecca. And Yeet, of course.
That's
Shout out to
crazy.
Zach Bia, and that was a good time.
Is
Man.
Keys are they more house, or are they kind of open format in the room? Is it?
Out there nights, like Thursday is supposed to be open format. Fridays open, or are they open Fridays, Scratchy? Closed Friday. Saturday is technically their house night, and then Sunday is made, which is hip hop.
Hip hop. All right.
And yeah, this weekend I'm at Tao. Oh, and,
Tao, LA,
Vegas.
right?
Tao Las Vegas.
Oh, Vegas.
And then November 2nd, we have a open house in San Diego called House of the Dead at Bang on 5th. And
San Diego goes off on Halloween. They always have a good.
Oh my
it's gonna
God. I was out there a couple of years back. San Diego's wild.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be popping.
Didn't the Hard Rock have like a big party? They used to have a big party on the rooftop over there on Halloween and stuff.
Yeah. I think they do one every year. I don't know if they still do it, but yeah.
Yeah. Neil, what do you got going on, man?
Well,
Well,
Here we go.
Well, I did an event for when I shouted out Geronimo and Callie Dre. They had me do a listening party last week with Kylie Minogue.
wow.
And so I DJ'd in the studio, and Kylie came out and did an interview with Geronimo, and they had like this little private listening party with like some of her biggest fans. They came in and just raged, knew every word to every single song, and I didn't even do obvious ones. I had to go back to a lot of my friends that knew a lot of Kylie Minogue songs, and like they knew every word to every single song. I didn't even know her career went.
I don't think I've ever played a Kylie Minogue song in the.
Really? What?
Recently? I don't. Kazi, have you ever played a Kylie Minogue song?
I play "Can't Get You Out of My Head" pretty often, but that's that's the only one though.
Dog.
Jersey, you are the only one.
Yeah. All right, never mind. All right, scratch that. So
that's a good like open format / house kind of crossover record.
I'm not like, look, I'm
making. I now,
fanned out. So. I fan out for like artists that like have like a long like career. Yeah. And like that is one of them that she's just got like massive hits. Like she's like the Madonna overseas. Yeah. Like she's massive. So I kind of like
she did the remix of that with Peggy Goo too. So.
Oh yeah. Remember? And she has a new album out. Every single track on about 90% of that album is fire. Nice. Like it is very current.
More like dance heavy.
Yeah,
I feel bad for that 10%. Just like, man, I just didn't.
I mean, you can't bat 100, man. Like, you can't do 100% all the time.
She's listening. She's like, damn, what was that 10% Neil was talking about right there? I'm like, man, that's fucked up. Kazi, what do you got going on, man? Anything new?
Yeah, I just put a single for the first time in a while. It's called Drive, so I'm excited about that. We just shot the video for it in Brooklyn, so we're editing that now. And then coming up this week is gonna be interesting. I do Lucy's in New York every Thursday, but I'm doing back-to-back this week, Lucy's Thursday and then Lucy's Friday. And I haven't done a weekend for Lucy's in a minute, so I know that like Neil, you could probably speak to this too. Like the weekday crowd and the weekend crowd are super different.
Yeah,
way different.
So I'm kind of excited to see like same exact room, same exact set time and duration for both nights, but I feel like it's going to be two completely different things. So fun little exercise for like, you know, on top of the Halloween chaos this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be wild this weekend.
It like thickens the skin.
Thursday's like more locals, right?
Yeah, Thursday's more locals, and it's like my party, so it's like my friends mostly, and then weekend is like way more Bridge and Tunnel, which is cool too, but it's like a completely different thing.
Bridge and Tunnel, I haven't heard that in a minute.
Yeah, the weekend crowd toughens you up. Inside.
Oh yeah, brother.
Inside. I got Boston this Thursday. I got Boston tomorrow, actually.
Nice. I love Boston.
Underground.
Well, you, Jerzy.
Yeah.
I got hockey season, man. We just Blackhawks has started, and we are in. We are not doing great, but we are in. We're in the season. Nice. New York's doing really good. So I know Neil used to do the Rangers stuff a lot.
I don't know, two teams.
What are your two teams? Five. I'd like to hear this one.
Golden Knights and the what's the LA thing?
I knew this was gonna happen.
The Mighty Ducks.
All right.
Dude, I did the Rangers game, and I typically do the Knicks games. I did the Rangers game, and like it took, I don't know why it took about a half hour for me to understand that there's 3 periods. I was like, so when's the halftime? And they're like, there's no halftime. I was like, so there's
that.
2.
Yeah. I think you asked me, you're like, when's halftime? I'm like, what are you talking about?
I didn't know that until right now.
Seriously. What people come here for a lot of times, just knowledge like that.
Just sports info,
So we try to do here. Going quickly at the charts, I just want to go through these really quick. We got HMC charts. Fade, you got some bunch of releases with Five and Eric Deluxe. You want to shed some light on that?
Oh, Summertime just came out and just hit the charts, and it's going strong, and I mean, just gonna pump them out. We got a few lock and loaded, ready to go.
Man, you guys got an arsenal of.
I mean, Eric's in there banging them out, man. So yeah, that's.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, they're coming.
Can we get a sneak preview or can you give us a hint on what the next one is?
It is a classic Kodak mixtape banger, and and we made a tech house, and we tested it out at Keys on Saturday. It went off, so
it's awesome.
I'm excited about that, and we recorded. We're in the studio last week, and we're doing with a rapper, so working on that one too. So
all right, look out for new Fade records
on the way.
Going over the Billboard charts really quick. things that kind of jumped out at me was the Rod Wave making some moves. Anyone playing Rod Wave records in this current chat right now? No one's playing Rod Wave. Okay.
I haven't gotten a chance to peep his new album, but I know it's all over the charts right now.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good.
What's the old one I used to play? The one with Break My Heart? I played that during COVID. Turks and Caicos with Savage. That's like the last time. That's the
Do
one
people
that just
know
came
it?
out earlier
When you
this
play,
year.
do people know those records or no?
It has to be like a super like hip hop crowd, but I mean, I'm in and out of them, you know?
Yeah.
Just that Turks and Caicos one. But
What about the new Weekend records? Anyone touching those? The one with Playboy Cardi too?
Oh, I'm playing Timeless.
yeah.
Okay, it's charting
Yeah.
big, so I was wondering if that was
got-
the record.
I got a request for it in Boston when I was there last week, and I downloaded it on my Serato, but I didn't upload it to my USBs. I didn't have my laptop. I'm like, oh, sorry, guys.
Well, I'm getting
Can't
a
play
lot
it.
of requests for Weekend in general. Like,
Yeah.
so old and new. So this one kind of hits like right on time, and it's actually a really dope track.
It sounds good. It's like it's almost like it has that 80s feel again too. At least some of them, like that first record did a lot. Cool. All right, TikTok trending. I just thought I would point this out. Yeah's Maps is some reason in there. Alphaville Forever Young is still massive, and a guy named John Mack. Have you heard of John Mack? Pose for Me. No one's heard of that. Anyone? Okay. Well, that's happening on TikTok right now. Apple Music City Charts, Rod Wave 25 was a big record. I just wanted to see if anyone was doing anything with that, but I don't think so. It sounds like not yet. It hasn't gone to the clubs yet. Trending artists right now, I want to talk about the Kendrick, Rihanna, declined Coachella. Do you think that Coachella is struggling right now? Do you guys, what's your thoughts on this whole thing, or have you heard?
I didn't even know about it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I haven't heard about that either. So
I haven't heard a lineup, which usually is like, the only reason I'm stating that is because Coachella is usually one of those like kind of monumental moments for whatever happens at Coachella kind of translates.
well, it sets
like,
off the festival season,
Yeah.
right?
it helps the clubs too. I feel like when you start getting people that are like, oh yeah, this was big at Coachella, and then they start putting an album out or the song becomes massive.
Yeah.
But the fact that Kendrick and Rihanna both declined Coachella is kind of shocking to me that they don't want to touch it.
Wonder why.
Who knows? But I'm just going to throw that out there. Also, John Summit was in Chicago DJing at a hot dog stand. I'm not sure if anyone's not aware of Portillo's. You guys heard of Portillo's or no? Kazi, have you heard of Portillo's?
Delicious.
All right. I'll speak to you on this. It's like a hot dog stand that has like sandwiches and burgers.
Well, not
and all
quite a
these-
stand. It's a pretty big restaurant.
Yeah, well, it started
in
off. Yeah.
Chicago.
It's now it's massive and it's like it's expanded throughout the country. But John Summit DJ'd at this basically a hot dog restaurant in Chicago for I think it was like maybe 100 people because it was hard to. I was trying to
It
get
looks
in.
like more than that, man.
It's not that big in there though.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, I know he was doing it at the pickup window. That's where I go. So
Wow.
yeah,
Is it like out? It was like a crowd outside the spot, or is he like ever just?
he was
was
inside the
inside,
restaurant. Yeah, so the
upstairs.
restaurant's like he's got these high ceilings. And there's like clips all over. There's like viral clips on it, but he's DJing at this like hot dog stand. So I thought that was just seeing people. I think these pop-ups are becoming bigger. I think Diplo did like a
Yeah.
sandwich shop before.
Yeah, yeah.
They did
Like,
Cats.
they did cats. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I think it's. Do you think these pop-up things are kind of like the new move, or what do you guys like? I don't know. That's more fun to me than going to a big warehouse. Or
Yeah. I'm trying to do a pop up at Roscoe's next door.
hell yeah.
I mean,
Thank God.
it's funny because somebody just sent me a clip about somebody doing pop-ups at coffee shops in LA.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's becoming a thing, I think. Like coffee shops and like those, but they're not like coffee shops. They're like lifestyle drink shops. I don't think it's necessarily coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you get
I mean,
like a teas there and like some like
Yeah,
small
yeah.
pastries, but people are DJing at these places and it's like good music and I don't know. I think people, it's like more of a hangout spot.
Yeah.
Like they're like mini Soho houses basically.
Are we talking about like massive DJs doing those pop-ups, like people that
No.
wouldn't, or just the
I
concept?
don't know massive guys, but I think guys that have like, you know, decent following or whatever, you can bring a couple
I mean,
hundred
Mal
people.
P was out in LA and he did a little event at the W at one of the suites. So
Jesus.
and that's like it's not a coffee shop, but he did it in one of the rooms.
These unorthodox parties, I think, are becoming
yeah.
bigger and bigger. I don't know how people are making money from it. That's the only thing.
I think it's more so. I mean, for content and just
Yeah.
just more than
I mean, those
anything.
things go viral like crazy. I still see the Diplo Cats is one.
Because they'll do it like while they have their big shows, and they'll do like some random pop-up events.
I've seen that before, where they'll be in a city making their money, but then they're like, "Hey, we're going to do a party of 100 people at this whatever newspaper stand."
Right.
You guys were talking about Jungle, and they
Not the genre.
Yeah, but you said like they did is a pumpkin spice party, or what was the?
No. So look, you kind of like threw this one out there in the middle of the conversation. We were talking about the band Jungle.
I've never heard of Jungle.
You have never heard of Jungle,
No.
and I was like, and we were all talking about this is
Wait,
behind the
quick,
scenes.
do you play? Is it Jungle Club stuff or no?
Nah,
I have some edits, but
I play a couple. I play Keep Moving at disco house gigs.
Yeah.
I feel like specifically in like Lower Manhattan and Brooklyn, that works really well for me. But outside of that, not really.
You can slip in back in 74 like on like a double time like pop set, but
I don't have, dude. I got Jungle Brothers. That's all, I'm like, I don't have any Jungle. I don't know.
Jungle's great.
So what were you
But
saying,
yeah,
Neil?
So Jungle has been around for a minute, and they're just like they just got this massive cult following.
Yeah.
And we were talking about they have five. You said that they had the biggest turnout at ACL. Was it
One of the biggest? I think Chaperone still had the biggest, but they're part.
They're up there.
Yeah, they're up there. And then Life is Beautiful too. Like that. It's not the full festival anymore. It's just like they do like this parking lot
Express version?
concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smaller version. And Peggy Goo was on the lineup. I forgot who else. I think Thundercat and
It was a pretty solid, tight lineup. It was like they cut the fat and they were just putting like, hey, we're just gonna do like 3 headliners instead of 20 artists or whatever.
Basically, everyone showed up for Jungle. So
And so we were saying that Starbucks had a 21st anniversary. They called it
the pumpkin spice party.
Yeah,
Pumpkin
it was
Spice
like
Bang Bang.
it was for the 21st anniversary of pumpkin spice lattes, and Jungle was the headliner, and like everyone went.
Yeah,
it was crazy. So
where was
that's
it? New
where
York?
it came from.
New York?
It was in New York. It was at the Starbucks Super Bowl of Starbucks down in the Meatpacking District. So I don't even know how to describe it. It's just massive.
You can
It's
clip
like
that. That'd be really good. Speaking of pumpkin spice and I guess fall, this is a really stretch on a transition here, but I want to talk about Halloween costumes. Halloween costumes, man. There's a lot of parties going on. I know everyone's celebrating. I think there's 2 weekends this year. Who knows what the hell's going on? So everyone's loading up on costumes and what to wear. I find it as a DJ, it's one of the most difficult things because one, everyone expects the DJ to come out with like the hottest shit, which is already stressful enough. And then two, it's like you can't really wear makeup because it's either gonna drip, like it's gonna smear, or it's gonna on your headphones or whatever.
Don't televise that.
Well, I mean, like it's just not the most. I guess I don't know the cleanest way of doing it. And then if you wear a mask, you can't see half the time, or it's too hot in there. So I guess DJ costume ideas. Do you guys have any ones for people that are listening that are like, hey, what's something that would be a good one last minute to kind of?
I think the best costume for a DJ is Scratchy's go-to for the past 15 years. He just wears a Ghostbusters jumpsuit every fucking year. And this year, I might fucking do it.
You might be the Ghostbusters.
I might be the Asian Ghostbuster.
Well, then you can do it in a group. You can do it as a group too, because there's more than one Ghostbuster.
Yeah,
so
I had a go. But yeah, I mean, fuck. I was Bane one year. I almost passed out because of the mask. But I was drinking and like I used to smoke cigarettes back then too. So fuck, man, the mask was not smelling good.
I did.
I played smoking out of this Bane mask. I can just see it.
I played Little Sister last year on Halloween Saturday, and I just dressed up as a Mets player. Just wore a jersey, but I had like a 2000 Subway Series hat with the eye black.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Called it a day.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, I might be Steve Aoki this year.
Yeah, I could definitely see
Straighten
that.
my hair. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, my hair's down to like here, so I feel like straighten it, get a cake, call it.
Got it. Throw it at Pete. Just throw fucking
Mark shirt?
cupcakes. Yeah, just
Take the shirt off.
just
Yeah.
walk up to somebody.
Take your shirt off. Wear some tie-dye pants.
Easy money.
Neil, any suggestions?
I'm exactly. How
You could dress up
describe,
as Neil
like-
Jackson. Just wear
I'm
a
like
black
the
shirt.
Grinch when it comes to like
That works
right.
too.
I'm like the Grinch when it comes to like Halloween. I love
No.
Halloween. I just do not like dressing
Just
up
wear.
for Halloween.
No, you can wear your suit.
Or I
from
could
the-
I could walk around with a skateboard
Your
and
Men
say
in
I'm Eric
Black suit?
Costin because that's what everybody else calls me. So
We were talking about your Men in Black suit you wore last podcast.
I saw
No one
that.
else got the memo to wear the tuxedo or whatever you were wearing.
everybody,
Yeah.
but for a month, you guys.
Well, you're
It's our
wearing a white.
anniversary. It's our anniversary. I'm like, okay, then I'll just get dressed up.
You could have told us to get dressed up too. We could have all done it together.
I figured our anniversary would be like a big deal. Anyway.
Yeah, but I'm just happy you're wearing a white shirt now because I've never
Yeah.
seen you.
You
in
know,
nothing but
I'm like
black.
trying to adopt color. You know, trying to do something different. You know,
It looks
I'm
good,
trying
man.
to reinvent myself.
Yeah. You're really you're working the
Yeah.
white really well.
Yeah,
So-
I'm rebranding.
That's good.
So
You're rebranding.
this is my costume. This is I'm giving a sneak preview of my costume.
It looks great.
I'm gonna wear color.
Oh god.
That's
I
scary.
want to see Neil in like a fucking yellow shirt.
Quick picks really quick. I just want to get into songs you guys are playing out. I just want to go first. I'll just knock these out. Knock 2, Feel You Love Me. That
Oh,
was
that's a new one.
Yeah. There's a lot of edits, and I really people are throwing like acapellas on it and stuff like that. But I like the way that song moves. And then Matroda, the For You record. It
Oh,
sounds
that
like
was my pick.
yes, that's my one first. Go ahead. 5, go ahead. You're next.
Hold on, I'm write these down. Hot to Go fashion edit. He used a Pitbull record and a Fade song, and it's fucking energy. You know, good top 40 open format edit. Like play at your open format spots. Glorilla, yeah, Glow Side Quest remix. Hose by Jous, Jous, Jous.
Jous?
It samples Nate Dogg. It's on some tech house shit. And yeah, those are my picks. Dogs.
Cool. Neil.
For top songs, I got Don Toliver, New Drop, Future, Lil Demon, Sabrina Carpenter, Taste.
That's
Yeah,
the video is crazy.
yeah, and NLE Choppa featuring 41 or What.
That's the new one.
That's
yeah.
my top one right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Kazi, I was going to ask you, what are some records you're playing out right now?
Yeah. I feel like I'm playing that Or What record a lot. Shout out Emerald, my boy who produced that, and the Slut Me Out 2 record.
Yeah.
I have
Is
a
just
couple.
Let Me Out 3 too? Is there like a
He
few?
made
Yeah,
like
there's a 3 that just
10
came out.
edits and remixes of that song. Yeah.
I think the last podcast I referred to it as the Slut Me Out tracks as like the Fast and Furious of.
That's like, but dude, King Von did the same thing. Remember the crazy
yeah.
story? He did
Oh
like
yeah.
8 versions, and I'm like, which one are you guys doing? They're like 6. I'm like, all right, well, fuck it.
That's funny. Yeah, no, all the NLE Chopper records are good right now. I've been going back to some old stuff. The Cobra Starship remix of Charlie XCX, I love it. I play that a lot, but instead of playing, the drop kind of drops off in a weird way that doesn't really work for like big rooms. So I've been playing like the beginning all the way to the build up of that edit, and then switch like playing different drops at the drops. That's been kind of fun to mess around with. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right, well, we got the records. Let's go to songs that are bubbling. Neil, your favorite segment, Ones to Watch.
Yes.
Go ahead, man. Take it away.
So I know that we talked about Weekend, Playboy Cardi, Timeless. It's going to be a big song. I think it still has a long way to go. The people that know it, but is it club ready? Again, you just have to have those people in the room that actually know the track. You're not doing that at like top 40 clubs. Like you have to be in spots where the cool kids are at. So that's one of them. Yachty and V, Sorry Not Sorry. Another track, if you know it, you know it. Future Plutowski. I don't know if I'm saying that.
Is that
right.
Polish? Because
I don't know.
I'm Polish. I don't know.
If you're Polish, then you
if
tell
you're
us.
just putting out Polish records, man, I'm down. Yeah. It sounds great.
That is the one genre that has not been touched yet until future.
Yeah.
Oh, and this other one. There's an artist named Kazi that has a song called Drive. That I think it's gonna move.
It's bubbling.
Moving.
It's bubbling right now.
I'm starting to see it posted in New York, but this one it's got some legs.
We'll see.
And then I got honorable mentions. This is a whole nother section that I don't even think Jerzy or Five or anybody knew that I was gonna do.
No,
but
not at all. We didn't know you were wearing a white shirt either. So
yeah,
this
I
is
mean,
all
I'm full of surprises. I'm full of surprises.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tyler the Creator, Noid. Song
Banger.
is sick.
Banger.
Could you play in a club? Probably not. But
New album?
It's the new single from his upcoming album.
Okay.
Leon Thomas.
Yeah,
The whole album's
yeah.
sick. And he's the opening act for Blast on his tour right now. Then there's this other artist, Kinfolk Thug, featuring Eneli Choppa, called Dump Truck. I don't know why I said crunk, but Dump Truck 2.0. AP Dillon featuring Ira Star, Bora Bora, and Odile Soso, which is Amapiano. Those are songs to look out for, honorable mentions.
Thank you, Neil, for blessing us with that. Five, Kazi, one of you guys got any ones to watch that you're bubbling up?
I mean, it's just ASAP Ferg. I think he has a couple songs I like a lot, and Thought I Was Dead was a good one I liked.
Thought it was
It's like
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it reminds me of like old like grimy Ferg, like like his first like album. But
I actually have another Ferg one too
Which
that I've
one?
been playing a lot. The Off-White Rose.
oh
joint.
shit.
It's
Yeah.
a super like New York specific record. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm sure you guys know it as DJs. I feel like if you're just a Ferg fan outside of New York, you might not get like what he's doing, but it's like a super uptown, like Harlem Shake, light feet, shoulders record. Which I feel like is what, at least for me as a fan, like I feel like that's what a lot of people in New York have wanted from him for a while. He got kind of experimental for a minute, and then he just came back with this like New York Valley like salad, like uproar type record, and so that's been working really well.
He's been very active lately.
Yeah, he's outside.
He's still rocking the
outside.
cowboy boots too. It's kind of fucking tight.
Yeah. Oh, also, sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
All right, again.
Powers Pleasant. Do you guys know him? DJ
Yeah.
producer.
Mhm.
My man's from a long. Powers is, I think, the first producer to ever hit me up when I first started putting out music and be like, "Yo, let's make something."
Oh wow.
Which was dope, as just having grown up like listening to Joey and shit. But he just put out an album called Life Sucks, which is super hard.
Yeah.
There's some crazy features on there. And so I've been playing all that stuff around the city, and I
The
feel like,
one he has with Ferg and Armani Caesar.
yeah,
That's the one that was on my list too.
yeah, the Smoke one.
Called Smoke.
Yeah.
Smoke.
There's a couple on there. Yeah, crazy album. Shout out Powers.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. I got something completely different. I have a lot different from Ferg. I got Sabrina Carpenter. That Bad Chem song is pretty massive, and I'm seeing more and more of it. I think that's gonna be a big record. Also, have you heard of Barry Can't Swim?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so
Have you?
Hey man, this is bubbling, man. This is bubbling my playlist right now, right? So Barry Can't Swim. I like that Still Riding record a lot, but if you go through and like, he's got some records that are really pretty dope right now, and I think like that sound is pretty massive. It kind of reminds me of like a different version of like a Fred Again almost.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit faster and
Yeah,
stuff like
he's
that. But he's dope. I think he's got a pretty great, like crazy following too. I did some research on him, but yeah. So Barry Can't Swim, and then that Bad Chem record. There you go, guys. There's the ones to watch. What's
Very
the
nice.
scenario? We're gonna hit this real quick. You're DJing a Halloween party. What are your must plays? What's just want to give some people some insider info. What do you got to hit at a Halloween party? Who wants to go first?
Thriller.
That's all right. That's what
There's a HMC edit of for West Coast, I guess. Well, East Coast too. Not Like Us. That's pretty dope. And yeah.
It's a Halloween edit?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, dog.
Anybody else? I got Monster Kanye too. I think that's always a good one to bring
yeah.
out for the holidays. Or
Man,
for Halloween
I
specifically. not
completely
Christmas.
missed that section. I didn't even write that, but I didn't even like write a list of that one. No one ever mentions is DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
But because no
Nightmare
one's
on My
old
Street.
enough to remember what that is, dude.
What, they play Ghostbusters, and that's almost the
That's
same
a
age.
fucking. There's a
Yeah.
Jazzy Jeff does not have a movie coming out that that's not. It's completely different.
What are you talking about? Fresh Prince is out there
Ghostbusters is a
slapping
cultural
people around.
phenomenon,
Like,
dude,
he's
you
still
guys have
relevant.
to fire. What, dude?
He's out there slapping people. Like, he's still there. He made a Halloween song.
But that's not relevant to
Nightmare
what's-
on My Street. I don't think I've ever played that out, but I mean,
That's like one that no one ever mentions.
yeah.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
Dude, he slapped Chris Rock. Like,
How about
he's-
this?
he's
This
back- he's
weekend.
back
How
on
about
the
this?
charts.
Forever.
You play. How about this? Here. I'll play the Ghostbusters song on the club, and you can play the Jazzy Jeff.
No, I'm just
Fresh
saying
Prince.
no DJ.
And
I
no,
know
it's
that no
videotape
DJs.
and see who knows what record more. Let's just throw that out there. Let's just see who knows what record more, and then we'll get back to each
This
other.
is
in the
like
next episode.
a DJ version of Big Bang Tech Lil Bank.
Yeah, we're gonna do this. All right. All right, really quick, let's go over these edit submissions. Big shout out to A Minor, Andre 905, DJ Echo, DJ Villa, FWB, Manny, Mico, M-I-C-O, Miko? Is that? I don't know. Pigpen and Steve Spin for submitting all your edits, and everyone that is we have a few we didn't get to, so we're gonna move that to the next month's episode. But I have DJ Villa's Villa Girls edit. Is it the Dare? I think that was the edit from that. And then I got a Murder on the Dance Floor, She's Gone, Dance On edit that I really liked.
Oh man, that was my pick.
Oh yeah, it was. Okay.
Rats.
Hey, you know what? 5, why don't you go next, man? Go ahead. tell us which one was like, which one really stood out to you, or just a couple that stood out to you.
Andre 905, Nasty Girl. This
What did you like about that
vibes.
record? What did you like
It's
the most
well,
about
it's
it?
well edited, got a lot of energy,
Good energy.
good energy.
Cool.
I got an audible Kesha TikTok FP Diddy Diesel edit. Just sent it to me like last week.
Nice.
It wasn't on the
That wasn't on the
submissions,
thing.
but
Okay.
I'm gonna throw it in there.
Nice.
You can play the versions like wake up in the morning saying FP Diddy.
Oh yeah, I play that edit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
it's
sent it
good.
too. Yeah, he did a good job with that. Okay, Neil.
No, I actually got mine from Danny Diggs.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Danny Diggs did like a whole edit pack, and edited
yeah.
all of Diddy's parts of all Diddy's tracks.
It's a
Oh yeah,
lot
but
of
this
work,
one's on
man.
HMC though.
No, he told me he worked on it for a month or two.
No shit.
Like, he just sat in the studio and did it.
Wait,
Big
how
shout
are,
out to Danny Diggs.
how are people doing the Kesha one? So like, are they like AI
She said
vocaling? She said
there
it at a
was-
festival, right?
She said it at Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
I was there. She said it at Lollapalooza in August.
and they just took that and
and
cleaned
they
it up.
and it was.
just
I
put
think
in
they
the song.
broadcasted it live on. I think you could probably find it on
Oh, so they
YouTube.
ripped it? Yeah,
You probably just ripped the vocal off of that.
And they're just
Yeah, I played that. I played that one at Lucy's, and everybody went. No, I played it at the highlight room, and everyone went crazy for it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, damn, you
That
guys
tracks.
caught that real quick.
Neil, what do you got on the edits?
Edits. I got Chris Brown, Sensational, Andre 905, I'm a Piano remix. Turn Off the Lights, Villa, My Love edit. I Like the Way You Kiss Me, Manny 901 edit.
I like that too.
In
Oh,
My
I had that one
Mind.
too.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna keep
Mute
going.
Vibes, right? Can we mute that? Is that-
In My Mind, Manny Black Dress edit. All Red, Pigpen, Satisfaction edit. And the Sabrina Carpenter versus Tamia Bad Chem Steve Spin. That was actually it was a great idea. Like that was actually pretty dope.
I missed that one. All right.
Oh, you missed that one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. If you want to send your edits, feel free to throw them over to earbuds at headlinermusicclub.com. So that's earbuds, one word, at headlinermusicclub.com. And all these edits will be posted on the website when Scratchy gets to it. And if you don't have a subscription already to Headliner Music Club, sign up for a 50% off your first month with code word ear space buds. There you go. Enjoy.
Holler.
Sneaky slappers. Going through these real quick. It's New York City. We got 2 out of the 4 here from New York, so we figured it's only appropriate to do some, I guess, like NYC slappers that people may or may not be familiar with, or some things that kind of go off. Neil, I think you did a lot of homework on this, and you did some digging. So you want to throw some out?
Stressing me out, actually.
So
So
the only one gets stressed out over a sneaky slapper.
Because
Nobody else is losing sleep.
it's like
over
it's
sneaky
like
slappers.
it's the same thing as like when you're like, yo, give me like the top 3 best breakfast burrito spots. I'll name the first 2, but then the last one, that is the one that I'll like melt down, and I won't be able to. I want the perfect number 1, but
That's good.
So-
We're gonna do that in the next podcast.
So Sneaky Slappers NYC version. Chainsmokers Closer. I've been getting a lot of like requests for like old Chainsmokers. Nicki Minaj Only. 50 Cent. 21 Questions. And that one was like a tough one because I was like trying to pick the right one. I wanted to do What Up Gangsta. I wanted to do like all these other ones, but 21 Questions, that's the one I could play at a club literally from the one. Alicia Keys, No One. That's like one that just everyone in the crowd sings along to. Lil Kim, The Jump Off, and The Diplomats, Dipset Anthem.
I had that one. Believe it or not, I did.
What?
Yeah.
Boy,
I had
what do
that
you
one.
know about the streets? You don't know nothing about that.
Listen, man. I'm in the streets with the lights. Anything
Yeah.
that's
No.
well lit, I'll be in those streets. So I got Cameron, Hey Ma. I think that was a good one, in my opinion. Also, Rough Riders Anthem, of course, and Jay-Z, Heart of the City. That's from a Chicago kid that's going to speak in New York. So if you guys...
Kazi, what do you think of that one?
Which was the last one? Hove?
Yeah, Hove. That was Heart of the City.
I don't think I've ever played that, but I could see it working for
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah.
See, you can see
Try
it
it
working.
out.
There
I'm
you
gonna have
go.
to try it. I'm gonna try it.
That was like I just got a participation award on that. That's what you guys just gave me on that whole
Trophy
thing. So,
for trying.
yeah, I could just see everyone's reaction right now. It's like, okay, that was cute.
That's a
was,
proper sneaky slapper.
Yeah, that was good. All right, Kazi, go ahead. What do you got?
Last couple months I've been trying to figure out how to stay like what to play around the Charlie Brat records. And what I'm realizing is that there's a lot of like early 2010s, like kind of indie sleaze adjacent, whatever you want to call it, stuff that you can kind of bring back now once you're in that like Brat pocket. So I've been playing a lot of old Lady Gaga shit, which has been working really well. I play the Fame. I play Just Dance all the time. Played Paparazzi a lot, which I normally kind of try to stay away from that feel because it's kind of slow and it can be low energy, but that one works really well. And then also I'm realizing a lot of people have dug, a lot of the girls that want to hear Brat in the club have been digging into like older Charlie stuff. So there's a couple older Charlie records that I play, like 1999, which is like, was a big record at the time, but like I feel like a lot of them are coming back now around Brat. And then The Dare has a bunch of records because, you know, he worked on Brat and a lot of people are just discovering him now.
Is the Dare? Where's the Dare from? New York or LA or?
I don't know where he's from originally, but he's been in New York for a long time. I think he's probably from here. Neil, do you play girls?
I do play girls.
Yeah.
That was actually one of my. I was like on the
2 months
podcast.
ago.
I was like a big advocate for the Dare.
Yeah.
That was because he was in like before Brat. He was in New York throwing parties and DJing. Like we've done a couple of the same parties, and so I feel like it was like Girls was like a really local kind of like cult hit like 2 years ago when it came out, and then Brat happened, and now it blew up on TikTok. So it's
Yeah.
kind of
It's big in
Weirdly
LA
enough,
too.
the Dare is from LA actually.
originally from LA. Word.
Yeah, he's originally from LA.
Sick.
Oh, shit.
There's another group that's popping up, and they're called the Fuckers.
Fuckers,
like that.
No, fuckers are dope. Yeah.
Yeah, they're out of New York too, and they're slowly creeping into the festival circuit. But
Yeah.
they were out of pianos. I think one of the guys used to play at pianos or
Yeah,
like was
Jackson.
the sound.
I think he was
Jackson.
he was working there. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Fuckers.
now they're doing like festivals.
Yeah, they're sick.
They just
I'm
opened
making
it
note of
for
that.
Dom Dollar
The
in LA.
Fuckers.
No. It's actually FCUKE or
Oh.
KR or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Cool. You guys all good on
New
that?
York might be having another indie wave again.
I love the indie shit.
Wow.
You get,
I mean,
you
my
get good
list
energy
is. I mean, I haven't played New York since last year or so, but when I played Baby Bash, Baby I'm Back, and people looked at me like, people in the booth looked at me crazy, but the crowd dug it. What else? Baby Bash, Sugar worked. I don't know.
A lot
if
of
you
Baby
guys played
Bash
out there.
from you.
A lot of Baby Bash. Walking on a Dream. You got man.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like New York still plays that a lot though. And
Yeah.
and then when we went around the city, like went out with James, I was hearing She-Wolf a lot. Shakira.
Oh my
shit.
God. I play, you know what's hitting hard for me with Shakira is Waka Waka.
Oh, that's
that old?
The
The
FIFA
World Cup song, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the World
yeah,
Cup
yeah.
song. Now now it's just in heavy rotation now for
Yeah.
me.
Shakira Waka Waka.
Yeah, it's the FIFA World
Then we
Cup
talked about this like a
anthem.
while ago.
What? How old is this record? It's 2010. It's not that old.
Yeah.
I mean, it's old, but not like super.
Yeah, like Empire of the Sun, Walking on a Dream.
Oh, you know what I haven't heard? Shooting Stars Bag Raider.
I play that every night.
Yeah,
Bag
really?
Raiders.
Every night, bro. We
Damn,
did,
I haven't heard that in a
Yo.
minute.
There's an edit that Fashion did with I Love It into Bag Raiders. It's fucking pretty banging.
fire.
Really? Okay.
And Disclosure Latch, right? You talked about it the last couple episodes, and I kept hearing that in New York. I mean, it's
Just
not
the
a
original
sneaky
version
slapper.
of Latch.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
from the top. Like,
All right, on to the next segment. Thank you, Five, man. Thank you.
I should prepare for that one.
Yeah. Insert sound effect right here. All right. Cool. Kazi, this is your segment, man. Thank you for putting up with us for the last
Nah, this is fun, man.
40, 50 minutes, whatever we've been doing here. But yeah, man, dude, it's so great to have you. And Neil kind of like put us all together on this. And after doing some research and stuff like that, finding out you're from New York City. I basically just got a few questions on kind of like where'd you get your start in the music scene, and what kind of stuff did you grow up listening to, for people that are not familiar.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in New York on the Lower East Side. I kind of like all the music that I listen to and work on now, I kind of discovered on my own, but my parents were really just big like classic rock family. So my mom is like biggest Springsteen fan in the world. Dad too, just a lot of classic rock. From that, like I got into playing piano and guitar and bass when I was a kid. So really like my whole musical background is like classical training, jazz training. I played piano and upright bass like through high school, and kind of thought that was going to be the path for a while. And so that's what got me into it. And then high school was just like playing in bands around the city mostly as a bassist, and singing. And then from there kind of like naturally progressed into singing and making my own stuff. So genre wise, I've kind of been all over the place, and I think that's why I like DJing so much, because I get to kind of dip into all the different bags that I kind of grew up around. But yeah, it's been a little bit of everything. And then now, I sing, I make my own records as an artist. I've been doing that for like 7-8 years. And then DJing the last like 2 or 3. That's
Nice.
kind of like another outlet.
What kind of music would you say you like to play the most when it comes to, is it, you said you were pretty much open form and pretty eclectic. Was there some like a genre that you really, sticks out to you and stuff?
I think it depends. I mean, really like, I think if I had to choose one for the rest of my life to only play, it would be dance music. It'd be house. I kind of get a little bit up in the tempo though. Like a lot of stuff I'm making right now is like around 130, but like my favorite DJ sets I've done are like between 140 and 150. Just kind of up tempo housey shit. I try not to get too in the weeds about like the subgenres of house and dance music. I feel like playing just off of the sound of it and what works sonically is better than being like I'm playing a tech house set or I'm playing a disco set or whatever. But yeah, that's been my focus recently. Most of the gigs I'm doing are still open format just because that's kind of the nature of the city right now. But yeah, that would be my choice if I had to.
Where do you get your music? I mean, you don't have to say anything in particular, but like but I'm just saying like how do you stay up on your like I guess where do you dig for music, or how do you stay up on new stuff, and are there playlists that you follow or something like that?
It's weird. So right now I'm in kind of a weird place with that, because when I'm in the process of writing a lot of music, I really try not to listen to too much of it, which is obviously a little bit of a conundrum when I'm DJing every week and I need to know what's going on. So I really haven't been digging that much. I feel like the approach that works for me really well is like I spend a lot of time like on TikTok and on the internet, and I kind of see what people are listening to. A lot of the parties I do also, I work with other DJs, and so I kind of can hear what people are playing and responding to. So I really try to only just play like what naturally comes to me. I think there was a point where I was digging a lot, like when I play house music and stuff like that, I dig for that, and that's really just SoundCloud for me for the most part. SoundCloud, Bandcamp. I would say the pipeline, if I'm really digging, is like I'll find stuff on SoundCloud, find producers and DJs that I really fuck with, and then from there, like once you get into the Bandcamp rabbit hole, it's like a whole other world.
It's brutal.
You don't like it?
Deep.
Do you use it, Neil? Do you find stuff there often?
Yeah,
or?
I find a lot of stuff on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. SoundCloud is just like a rabbit hole all in itself.
Yeah.
Shout out to Don Juan.
Don Juan.
Oh yeah.
Big listener. Yes, I think, like we were talking about, SoundCloud's still a great spot to get cool edits and mashups and, stuff that's not necessarily on charts or whatever. But
yeah, I like the algorithm too. I think on SoundCloud, like one of the things that really helps is like a lot of the edits that I'll find are also made by DJs who are playing in different cities, and so it's kind of easy to track like, okay, what sound is coming out of each market. It's cool, like obviously working off of the sonics is the most important thing, but I do really like seeing like what scenes each sound is coming from too. I think that context helps a lot, like just when I'm deciding what to play
in terms of direction and stuff.
Yeah.
What are some of the you were touching on earlier about, like, I guess, you're in the clubs a lot and listening to different things. What are, I'm Neil was kind of breaking it down a little bit, talking about some of the parties that you're throwing in New York.
Yeah.
I guess for people that aren't aware, like what is Melt Worldwide, and tell us about some of the parties that you got, going on right now.
For sure. So I started DJing like 2020, like top of 2022. I worked in clubs before that, before COVID, and so I was already in nightlife. I was a sound engineer at Kinfolk in Brooklyn when I was like 18. But so that's kind of how I got into nightlife, but I didn't really start DJing or throwing parties until like 2022 because I was focused on putting out my own music. And then after COVID, I just got to this point where like it just felt like TikTok was really taking over everything in a way that was kind of stifling creativity. Obviously it worked really well for some people. It wasn't really for me at that time, and so I started DJing just to like have another outlet, stay connected to music without necessarily having to think about like what's happening in the industry, and just be around normal people that just love music and not just be surrounded by music industry all the time. So Melt I did like 3 parties that were called Kazi and Friends, where it was just like the one time I would DJ every month, and then that just grew really rapidly. We started it at Kind Regards in the Lower East Side. We've done some stuff at Georgia Room, and then we moved it to SNS, which is now closed, in Meatpacking. And so it just got to a point where like the parties were getting so lit that I just wanted it to be kind of its own entity outside of like my name and my music. And so that's what Melt Worldwide is. And then since then, that's evolved into like we've produced events for brands. We'll do like after parties a lot for artists that are touring or that are like release parties and stuff like that. And then now, kind of most recently, what we've been doing is when I'm DJing or when I get booked like as an artist, like I'll bring in Melt as kind of like an extra marketing entity or like a tool that we can use to promote those events. Still try to be pretty selective about like which events and which experiences we attach the Melt brand to. But it's been really helpful because we use like a bunch of different marketing tools like Community, like SMS, Text Blast, and stuff like that to promote. And so it's really easy for us to like turn stuff around last minute. Because I can go on there right now and just text like a couple thousand people who are local in New York and be like, hey, tonight we're here, So it's evolved a lot in that way, and I'm kind of taking a break from throwing like Melt branded events right now, but it's still super active in just like the residencies that I have, and we're kind of trying to build up a new community through the weekly stuff that I do.
Hey, wait, so I do remember that you were mentioning that for Melt Worldwide you also have a management side.
Yeah.
and artist management side.
Yeah, it's so management is an interesting thing for me because like I obviously am an artist. I have my managers that manage me. It's kind of funny being like on both sides of it. There's only right now we only manage Dwells, who's a super talented DJ who's a longtime friend of mine. Battle DJ. We worked together. Wow. He was a DMC champion or vice champion like when he was like 14 or something. Very similar.
Yeah, I know that he A-Track fucks with him pretty heavy, right?
Yeah, so that's how we met. We were both interning at Fool's Gold together in 2017.
Oh, wow.
And we both grew up in the city. He actually went to school with a couple kids that I was in a band with in high school. So there's already some overlap, but we met at Fool's Gold. And yeah, he had a very similar path to A-Track, like started really young with scratching and battling and did really well in that circuit. But he also, similar to A-Track, like has moved way more into the dance music direction. So he just has a crazy like just IQ, and he's like an encyclopedia of music, and he's just like a super music nerd, and then has the technical skill too. So we've been working together for a couple of years now. I feel like really in New York, like the scene is already so small, it's really easy to just like help people out and facilitate collaborations without needing to have like a structured management situation. Yeah. For him, the reason it's been really great is because he's also making his own music now, which is so fire. And so really what I'm bringing on, in that relationship is the music industry experience that I have from being an artist, and from having done it independently for pretty much my whole career. It takes a long time as an independent artist to figure out how to get stuff done, how to market the music, how the industry works. It's a lot of trial and error. And so I really don't I try not to like get too deep into management unless it's somebody who I feel like I can really help accelerate the process through just like having that specific experience. And so that's what we've been working on.
Damn, Melt does it all. It's a one-stop shop.
Shout out Dwells, man.
I think you kind of touched on helping other people and through your platform of Melt and stuff like that. I think a lot of people listening are kind of in that situation where they like to throw their own parties. What are some keys? You started this on your own, and I mean, I'm sure you have a group of people, but being able to start your own successful party, what are some of the keys that you can give people that are wanting to go that same direction?
I think the consistency was really what got the ball rolling at the beginning. Visual branding has become really important to us. We've been able to branch out a little bit now since we've like built up the audience and the base. But at the very beginning, like we had the simplest flyer ever. It was we picked this shade of blue that's like almost purple. That's really recognizable and really bold. And every flyer was literally just like blue background, white text, Melt logo, names of the DJs, date, venue, like that's it. And we did that every party, and we did that every month. And so being able to just like make sure that flyer stands out and people recognize it and they have that brand recognition early on, I think is the best way to do it. I think attention spans are so short right now. I also think that like nightlife is just really saturated, and I can't speak to other cities, but in New York right now, it just feels like there's a lot going on and a lot of different things popping up. So
a lot.
Yeah. So the consistency was the biggest thing for me. And then also like digital marketing is changing so much. We've never run ads. I know a lot of parties do that to like reach new people. We've really been word of mouth, but I think like making sure that you have some kind of RSVP system where you can capture that information and make sure that you can reconnect with everybody that comes to the door. That was a huge thing for us too, and that helped us grow a lot more quickly.
Are you using text too? I know like there's people that throw text messages out as like whatever, or do you think emails are better, or Instagram, or it's like, do you even fuck with TikTok, or is it like what's your what platform wise, like where should people, or where have you had the best experience of getting messages out? It's
pretty much all text for us. Like obviously it's easy to collect emails, but I feel like when you use text, the people that opt into that, texts are annoying, especially right now, like with the fucking campaigns and everything. It's
I thought I was the only one. I was like, shit.
Yeah. So text is really annoying, and I think that actually can work to your benefit if you're throwing a party, because it means that the people that you're reaching are the small sample size that really want that information and want to be there. And so even if it takes a little bit longer to grow that database, it's just a way higher conversion rate. You're reaching people a lot faster because nothing ever goes to spam. You don't have to wait for people to check their email. It's right there as soon as you send it out. And so that's been the biggest tool. We honestly, I think, have sent 3 email blasts like ever. There's also obviously like RSVP ticketing platforms that have text like services. Yeah, Partyful.
Partyful has one, yeah.
Partyful sponsored a lot of our early parties. We worked with them pretty extensively, but I think that having a tool like we use Community, we've never worked with on a brand level. It's just like the service that we use. And I think it's really important to have something like some kind of CRM where you can reach all of the people in your base that's not attached to one ticketing service, because then you have the opportunity to work with whichever one you want. If you're selling tickets, if it's free, like there's all these different factors that like we really try not to commit to one RSVP platform. And so having the CRM like completely separate so that we have that flexibility has been super helpful.
Would you say Instagram is your social media of choice to get messages out, or is it TikTok, or is it Snapchat, or what do you guys usually?
Definitely,
how do you guys blast these things out?
Like in terms of social, definitely Instagram, but I feel like we reach like 10 times as many people through the text than we actually do on socials, which is crazy because like, I mean, we have maybe like 2,500 followers or something on Instagram, but there's like 4 times that amount of people on the text blast. And so we don't even necessarily need to see like motion on socials to know that we're going to be able to fill a room. And even that, just relying on the algorithms on social platforms, I think can be really challenging, especially if like, you know, if we're working with a brand or an artist and we're trying to turn something around really last minute, waiting for a post or a flyer to cut through the algorithm is really tough. So we use it, and that's definitely our top like social platform, but I would say we rely on like direct comms like even more than socials.
And you don't really spend, I mean, it sounds like if you talk to somebody 10 years ago, they're spending, you know what, $200 on a flyer to get produced. And then there's, you know, they're having recap videos, they're spending $1,000 on and stuff like that. Yeah. Do you think that in your experience, like, is it even worth it these days? Like, is it necessary to drop all that cash, or you can just kind of, as long as you're getting it sounds like what you're saying is like, as long as you're getting the message out, it doesn't need to be a, you know, this glamorous flyer or whatever. Just put what you need out there. Yeah. People's attention spans are short. And then in terms of like videos and stuff like that, it's kind of more, you don't even need it, you know, like it seems like from what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of video stuff. I make all the flyers, so that's one cost that's just done. Like I've been doing flyers forever. I do most of the artwork for my music too, so it's just like, you know, that's an easy, again, with like turnaround time, like a lot of these things come together really last minute, so the more you do yourself, the better, I think. In terms of, what was the other thing? Oh, video.
Like video, like recaps and stuff. Like I'm trying to think of like when people are taking on their own party, there's always expenses, and it's like it's great to throw your own party, but you got to have that, someone's got to front you the money on it. So even if it's $5,000 or $2,000 or whatever, I think it's important, you know, it's like, hey, you got to spend that wisely. So if you know, cut out the small stuff or whatever you're saying.
No, for sure. A video I do think is really important. I think photos go a long way too, and like, you know, photos have actually been a really big part of building our socials, because what we do is we'll have the photographer shoot the party, which is usually lower cost than video, and then we can send a blast out to everybody that went to the event and say, hey, the photos are here. Gate the album to view all the photos, because everyone wants to see the photos that were taken of them at the party. Gate that, so you have to follow the Instagram to access it, and that's how we've grown our socials.
And you throw it as a text, right? Like a text message saying, hey, here's the photos to everyone that came to the party. Oh, that's smart. Yeah. Okay.
That, and then we'll also, that's really where we use Instagram too, because we'll post a recap post with all the or like 10 of the photos from the party or whatever, and say, hey, link in bio, the album is here, and then you go to that, and then gate, follow, same process.
Nice.
That's a big thing. We haven't done it as much recently, but like I think I have to decide if I want to plant my flag right now. I think we were the first party in New York that was like consistently shooting everything boiler room style with a GoPro. Everybody is doing that now. Everyone has a 360 camera.
Everybody, yeah.
But we started doing that like end of 2021, top of 2022 with a janky old GoPro, and it was such a fucking pain in the ass. I was on a ladder at SNS, like screwing a 360 camera into the ceiling to get like the crowd shot and shit.
Yeah.
And that made a huge difference at the beginning, because even then it's like, okay, you shoot the whole thing, you don't have to have a videographer standing there the whole time to make sure they capture the perfect moment. You just stick the camera in the booth, it captures the whole night, and then if you have like 6 hours to go through and find those moments later, you don't miss anything, and you can just take the best parts of that. And I feel like catching those moments in terms of what excites people right now matters a lot more than the way that you shoot it, you know. So that was a really helpful thing.
More raw. It's more of like a raw format, not so overly produced where you have all these.
Yeah, I love a recap video. I will say, I think the art of a recap and trying to capture the essence of an event is really sick. I also like just have been editing video for a while. I don't do our recaps, but like I can appreciate it, and I think they're super valuable. But if going back to advice for people who are trying to build something from scratch, like I think making sure you capture everything again, like best way to cut costs.
Yeah,
just like and just make sure you don't miss a moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
5 you.
Yeah, what kind of trends are you seeing with the newer generation of party goers right now?
It's kind of hard. I mean, I am the new generation of party goers, so it's a sort of hard to compare. I will say that like because I was working in a club before COVID in like 2018, I can sort of speak to it. I think attention spans are a lot shorter when it comes to like just how much of a song you play.
Yeah.
I do think that like, did you guys ever play at Kinfolk or go to Kinfolk in Brooklyn?
I did, which is now Gabriella, right?
Yeah, so there was 2 venues. There was a smaller one and a larger one. Like they had 2 spaces. One of them is Gabriella now, which is the smaller one, and then the larger one I just found out is that like country spot with the mechanical pool. It's called Desert something.
I don't know the name of it, but I do. Everybody kept talking about there's a new country spot that opened.
Yeah, it's right next to the Arlo Hotel, which used to be the Williamsburg Hotel. So yeah, that was like a very like Brooklyn hip hop Afrobeats kind of spot. So there were definitely some DJs there that cut really fast, but now doing the bottle service stuff, I feel like I rarely play more than like a verse and a hook, like ever. I think that's a big thing. Outside of that, I don't know. I wasn't really in like I feel like I'm in a different scene now than I was when I started, because back then I was in the Brooklyn scene, and then post COVID I've been much more in like the lower Manhattan bottle service thing. So I can't really speak to what that was like before COVID, but Neil, you were around for like One Oak, Up and Down. Like, do you feel like it's the same or not really?
Oh no. It's it's just a matter of
in terms of the crowd.
The mentality is different, but the party goers are just so much younger now. So like when you're saying like what are the trends of the new generation of party goers, I was like, this was like coming out of the pandemic was actually like a big reality check for me, that throwback was actually different. Pitbull is
we
like
talked about this a lot.
Yeah, Pitbull and Kesha were like the thing, and I'm like, wait, where the hell did this come from? And then a bartender actually had to put me on game. Was like, look, man, a lot of the new party goers now spent all of their 21st birthday in COVID. Yeah. So what they know is their throwbacks is that.
Yeah.
And that's what they know.
What was the song that we were talking? We were at the Palace one time, and was it Beauty? Was it Somebody to Love, or was it Beauty and the Beat?
Oh, Beauty and the Beat. So I was playing Somebody to Love.
Yeah.
And you put me onto that. So when I first met Kazi, I was like, yo, man, I really like Kazi. I'm gonna try and put him on. And I got him to open for me at the Palace. And that was the first time I heard him play. And this dude was eating through songs. Like, I was like, yo, this kid's throwing down.
Also, we can pause right there. Shout out Neil for letting me open without having actually seen me DJ.
You didn't take a chance right there.
Like, this will be fine.
I just took a shot. I was like, you know what? This kid knows what he's talking about. And he just ate through songs. And then that's also partly where I realized that the new generation of DJs are very different. When you hung that 360 camera, and I was like, what is that? What is that?
You're like the old lady like swatting it down. You're like,
shit. Or like going up close to it, like,
yeah. Trying to figure out what's going on. It's like my dad.
What is it?
It's my dad on FaceTime. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, Dad, pull back. All right. I wanted to, speaking on the newer generation, though, I wanted to say, like, are you noticing, I think you could kind of speak on this, like, 20 years ago, people would rage at clubs, like to a point where they're just, you carry them out because they're so drunk.
Yeah.
I'm not, and like, it's not, I the parties you're throwing, do you think that, like, is it heavy drinking? Is it wild? And is it like, do you still see that? Or is it kind of people more chill and like, they'd rather vibe out, not have a hangover the next day?
It really, I'm realizing, depends on the venue and the branding of the event. And I think that if people are going to a club, just like, for example, I do a party every Thursday at Lucy's. which is branded. It's called Thursday. It's branded as like Melt Worldwide Presents, but it's really just like a party at Lucy's that we do every week. A lot of our crowd is there, but it's very much like, okay, we're in the bottle service environment. It's cool. It's very different from weekends. It's still like a weekday feel. It's a more local thing, but still very much like bottle service club. Melt parties at other spots like RIP SNS, when we were doing parties over there every month, those were ragers. And I think a lot of it really just depends on if people feel like they're going to a club that's kind of just like regular business, or if they're going to a specific event that's branded in a way where it's like, okay, this is a moment, this is a thing that's happening and it's only happening once, or it's like a series of events that like you know what it's going to be every time and it's a rager and that's what you're there for. So just going back to branding, like I think that the way you present it really affects like people's energy coming into the space and like their expectations around what it's going to be.
Is bottle service big for you and your parties, or is it kind of your crowd's not? I'm talking about more of the younger crowd. Are they really like, hey, we don't need to spend that money, we'd rather just kick it, or is it still something that like they're like, no, we want a table? Yeah,
I mean, I don't love bottle service. Like if I'm throwing an event, like that's not a focus at all. I feel like it takes away from creatively, just takes away from the energy of the room. If I'm doing Lucy's or I'm doing like Little Sister or something like that, or a place that's like driven entirely by bottle service, obviously it's a different thing. It's really big on the Thursday thing. Like we sell out most weeks, and like, you know, that room is packed, and it's like half promoters that we've hand selected and brought in and half clients, so it's balanced out a little bit. But yeah, when I'm doing my events, like we don't even think about bottle service because it's just about having a good time.
And your crowd's kind of the same. I'm guessing they're probably just, hey, we'd rather have the experience than worrying about a table or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, they love a promoter that has a table and a bottle. You know
free drinks is what you're saying. Yeah.
Free drinks are great, but yeah. I think the clientele that comes in to buy bottles in those environments is usually like different audience from which is like organically comes to one of our events.
Got it. I want to talk about your artist side real quick. I guess you touched on it a little bit. You know, I guess talk about like, I guess your inspiration and some of the music that you're making right now. You know, I saw some of your clips on Instagram, which are really dope, and it has that housey vibe, and it's like definitely vibey and stuff like that. What, you know, I guess speak on that. Yeah,
I mean, so I started really as like a songwriter first. Kind of like the North Star for me creatively is like, no matter what the production style is or what the sound is of the music I'm making, I want to be able to, like, every song should be able to stand up as like an acoustic version. So regardless of what the sound is, I should be able to sit down and play piano and sing it or perform it, and it should still work. And so that's been really fun because, you know, that's kind of the center of my creative process when I'm writing, and then whatever I do production wise is just kind of like a cherry on top, you know? So right now, obviously the last couple of years having spent so much time in the club, the music is a lot more influenced by dance music. I think also that's just what's the most fulfilling for me right now. I think coming out of COVID, like I was here for all of quarantine, which was grim in New York. And so I think that like the purpose and the intention around going out right now in New York, even though it's been a while, still feels like people are just like valuing the time outside more and valuing the socialization. And so that's definitely bled into the music for sure. But yeah, I'm really trying not to limit myself too much. I think like a lot of the music I was making before, like right after COVID, was much more, it wasn't hyperpop, but it was in that kind of hyperpop lane. And like those records are awesome and they work like if you play them in Brooklyn, but like they don't always work in the club in the city. And so I think like fun challenge has been kind of trying to figure out like, okay, how do I make the songs that I want to make them creatively like 100% my own and like true to what I want to do, and then also make stuff that will work in this environment where people aren't necessarily there to see me play my own music. And I didn't really do that intentionally, but I'm, you know, after making all the new records that I'm putting out now and sort of unpacking the process like retrospectively, like that's definitely been a big part of what's gotten me to this point. And
how are you getting your music out? I want to ask, like, you know, what's the platforms that to get I guess people that are listening, they're like, hey, I'm a producer, I want to get my music out. What have you seen like the best success like platform wise, or just, you know, is it texting too, or is it, you know, how do you usually get ears to your music, you know?
So I'm using a completely different strategy right now for the first time, and so it's a lot of trial and error. I've done the whole traditional like sign a distribution deal. Like for my last EP, I was in a distribution deal, which is basically just like they gave me a budget and let me spend it how I wanted, which is great because I like being in control of like marketing spend and knowing exactly where it's going. I've done the whole kind of classic traditional digital marketing, pitch it to DSPs and everything. I'm on DistroKid right now, which is crazy. I've literally never in my career even just like straight uploaded stuff through DistroKid. It's been kind of liberating, and like I'm really trying to focus on one, just like word of mouth. I've never had the size or like this big or this active of a network of people that are coming to see me perform this regularly before. Obviously it's for DJing and not to see me perform, but like, you know, really I'm trying to capitalize on like the organic community that I have around me and just like engaging with them first. And then also, yeah, I mean, Melt as an entity has evolved so much. And so I really tried to avoid promoting myself through that company for a long time because I wanted it to be its own thing, but it's evolved. Now we have like a record label side of it. So it's like an indie label basically. And that's what I'm releasing my music through now. And so being able to push the music out through all those channels too, and be able to provide context to people that have been coming to these parties and being like, hey, I'm the person behind this, we're putting out this music. We do the same thing for Dwells when he puts music out. That's been really helpful too, and it's kind of like it's just kind of a self-sustaining system because, you know, we can promote the music to the audience from the parties, and then also it gives them a better sense of what to expect when they come to these events, and it helps us kind of curate like creatively what we're doing. So I am using Melt, to answer your question, to promote it more, but that's a new thing, and it's kind of an experiment. I'll have to come back and let you guys know how it went.
So basically, people that are listening, it's kind of like you start your own party, get your own following, and you kind of just use that and turn it into your own marketing. You know, you could kind of use it for whatever you want at that point. You could push your artist side of things or parties or anything once people are behind you. You know?
I try not to use it for evil. I definitely could. It's crazy when you use like a text messaging platform, because I could go on my phone and just text whatever I want to like 10,000 people right now.
That's crazy.
Which is a wild.
You could tell them to listen to this podcast if you want. I was just gonna.
I mean, that's what it is. Yeah, we do every event, every like press thing that I do now. If it's like something that, you know, feel like would appeal to the audience, then that's something that we push out there for sure. I try not to be too annoying with the text, but like, you know, we're also not throwing a lot of events right now, so it gives us more, besides like the residencies that are weekly that people already know about, so it gives me more space to promote other stuff.
Cool. Well, if you got anything you want to plug, you know, I know you got parties coming up this weekend. You got any Melt stuff or music that you want to shout out real quick?
Yeah, I mean, the new single is out. We're still pushing that. It's called Drive. This is like the first record I've put out in about a year. Definitely the first one that is a product of like being influenced by DJing and being in the club. It's been doing really well, which I'm really excited about. We just shot the video for that, so that's coming out soon. I'm low-key like kind of chilling on Halloween this year. I have residencies every week. Wednesday at Soho Grand that I do full night by myself, and then Thursdays at Lucy's, and so we're doing those. But aside from that, like, I'm kind of like Neil with Halloween. I'm a little bit of a Grinch about it. It's like I was saying earlier, it's my sister's birthday, so for the first like 10 years of her life, it was just like no Halloween in the house. Like it's about her
birthday.
Yeah. So I think that's a part of it too. But yeah, I'm really trying to focus like these next couple months just on doing the weekday residencies, and just like, you know, continuing to engage with that community, and then spending the weekends really trying to focus on like the music and getting the content out, working on an album, and that's what this first single Drive came off of. So there's been a couple more singles coming out, and then a shift to like more of a live show, which is like a hybrid between me singing and performing and DJing, drum pads and stuff. You can see I got everything here right now. So yeah, it'll be a little bit of a shift, but like every Wednesday and Thursday, if you're in New York, Soho Grand Wednesdays, Lucy's Thursdays, and then outside of that, if you go on that text blast, which is on my Instagram, there's like a phone number you can text. You'll get like invites to stuff. We also send invites sometimes to things that we don't announce on socials that are like lower capacity. A little bit of extra access through there too.
Is there a number that people can text to get on that list if they're listening right now and they're like, hey, I want to get on that?
Yeah. It's 917-810-2384. And it's like on my Instagram at Kazi. It's on the Melt Instagram as well. Yeah.
On the but will a text blast go out telling us where to get your headphones?
Yeah,
No.
that was another question.
Scratchy wants to know.
I was like waiting for
I feel
somebody
like
to
the
ask
text
you this
goes
question.
through his headphones, and then it just
That's how. Yeah.
He just thinks of it,
I just have a thought
and it goes
I
out.
Send it to everybody in Lower Manhattan. Yeah.
yeah, those are definitely
No, this is
Well, tell us about him. I need to know. You headlined Marquee a few weeks back. I posted you, and you were getting. Oh, this was another thing. I don't know if you guys do this, but I don't do this. I haven't done this in a long time. But he came out with he started playing with an intro.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys do that still?
yeah, 100%.
Oh, I have not done that in a long
It has
time.
to be. I will only hit an intro. I mean, it's like a towel. That was like a towel thing.
Yeah,
They
it was a
like
towel
instilled
thing,
in
yeah.
us. They're like, you don't. I mean, dude, I remember getting chewed out. They're like, "Where's your intro?" I'm like, "What intro?" And they were like, "You gotta have." Oh yeah, back in like it was really a Vegas thing. I mean,
Vegas.
Five
more a
knows,
Vegas
yeah.
thing, yeah.
But and then it was like, then I was like, this sounds really weird. And they're like, no, you need to come out with an intro.
That's
so from
hilarious.
that point forward, and then it kind of was like in the EDM world, so it made sense.
Yeah.
But then when we started doing scaling back to smaller rooms, it felt so weird hitting a big intro for a small room.
I'll
like,
do it
you
for
know-
10 people. I don't give a fuck.
No, okay, I like that confidence.
Dude,
Now
he
I-
met
I
up
feel better. Yeah.
Dude, he met up with me for dinner and he played it on his phone as he was walking in. I was like,
Hell yeah. I like that though. Hell yeah.
You
but
know-
dude, he hit the intro and then put his headphones on. The intro, I was like, oh. And then he put his headphones on. I was like, oh.
I think it's a good reset. I think it depends on the
for
context.
sure.
Like, I honestly do think it actually works really well for smaller rooms. Like, I wouldn't say that Soho Grand is like a small room necessarily, but it's a small club. You know, it's not a marquee thing by any means. And like, I think I've done it on weekdays where the room is like half full, because it just makes the people that are in there feel like something is happening, you know?
It grabs their attention again, where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, we're transitioning the night from the early part to you know, this.
The
or whatever.
Rager, yeah.
Like now it's time to get, I guess get going or whatever.
Yeah, and it's also like, because I was a performer and a singer first, like I feel like I'd kind of just like to have like
Fuck yeah.
put on
I love
a show
that.
in
I'm
some
glad
way,
that there's
you know?
somebody else that's like, yeah, I don't care if there's 10 people or 5. I feel
Yeah.
awkward sometimes and I'm like, should I do it? I'm like, it's like one of the cool places. I don't want to cause that.
I'm
I
just
did
waiting for the intro to happen. He get on the mic and stand on top of the DJ booth, and there's like 4 people in the crowd. He's like, "Are you guys ready to rage?"
I did
And
it.
it's like,
I hit
4
an
people
intro. I hit an intro. This is a long time ago, but remember Deb from Tao Group, right?
yeah.
And I was like, I was playing Highlight Room, and I'm like, hell yeah! And I go in there, but he's like, dude, this was still like maybe 20. This is like Highlight kind of first open, whatever, 16, 17, 18.
Highlight Room
17?
in LA.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
get on this booth and I'm like, fuck yeah, I hit the intro just like normal, like I would normally hit an intro, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like over the top, it's not crazy, but I hit it. She's like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, she's like, no, just play the fucking song. And I'm like, in that point, I was like, do I not play intros in small rooms? I was just always hitting intros.
That's so funny. I've
you
never
brought back
seen
my
anyone.
confidence.
I've never seen anyone do it. I didn't even know it was a thing. I just
Yeah,
started doing it because I make
I'm
a lot of
surpri-
edits and like I know how to produce, and so I was just like, why would I not like make this more dramatic than it
Oh,
needs
yeah.
to be? You know?
Yeah,
what do you
it
got-
was
what
definitely
would
a
you
Tao
guys-
Group thing.
What would you guys
Yeah.
do for intros like in that era, like early, like pre-COVID, like what
Little
was,
John.
But is
Oh,
it just
man.
is it just like long, like drawn out like build-ups and shit?
Yeah,
like
we
at
had
the
like
beginning
we
of
had
the
like a
set?
homie that like did radio imaging, so he would just I would give him like all my drops. He'll make it like dramatic, like
Yeah.
The
I sum it
Up,
Purge.
yeah.
Like-
we got like Lil John drops and like Fat
That's
Man
so
Scoop.
funny.
Rest in
Energy-
peace.
It's always Fat Man
RIP.
Scoop. I put Fat Man
Well,
Scoop in. That's my
I had-
main one is him.
Yeah.
I had, me too. So I had Fat Man Scoop. Rest in peace, Fat Man Scoop. He's a great dude, and I hit him up maybe like during COVID, and he was like, and I didn't know he was really struggling during COVID. He had like a really bad COVID situation, but I hit him up. I'm like, yo, Scoop, can you do this like custom thing? I wrote a whole script out for him, like full out, like it's like this elaborate script that he was like cutting the whole. He's like, yeah, Jerzy, and he was never chill. Like no matter what, it would always be
Never
like,
ever.
dude. And like I would be texting him, but his like messages would always like missing words. I don't know if he just like was just going really fast, but he would call and be like, Jerzy, what? like, hey, I got this. All right, yeah. This is like, and I'm shooting ideas, and he's like, yeah. And then he'd send them through, and he gives me like 8 different cuts, but that energy that he always brought, I guess is a little story, but he was always the nicest guy and everything like that. But I have the same. It's like, dude, he's always been a legendary voice, but to have like a custom intro or just using his voice, it gets people's attention. It's such a good reset of the room. Like
that's cool. That's different. Yeah, I don't have. So I play Be Faithful usually like set. Like if I'm doing a hip hop room, like I mean now I've kind of retired it because I've been doing it for a couple months. But for a second I had an intro that was like the beginning of Living It Up, like the ba. It goes from that into just the hook of Party Up in here. And then to Be Faithful, and so that was the beginning of it. But I don't have any vocals in like the intro part. I don't have a drop. I feel like I could get one maybe, but like usually I have like a drone. It's just like like an ambient sound, and it does that for like 30 seconds, and I just wait until everyone's paying attention, and then it drops into the intro.
We're gonna have like a submission. Everyone needs to submit their intros because that would be a good. I just want to hear it and like dissect them or whatever. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad that you're still using intros or bringing them back.
Bring
or
them
whatever.
back. Bring them back.
Yeah. New gen DJs, get your intros.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kazi, dude, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast and speaking with us today. And
thank you, man. That was dope.
Congrats on all your, the music and your parties and everything like that. So thank you for doing this for us.
Thank you, man. No, thanks for having me. This is fun. We've been talking about doing this for a while, and I feel like me and Neil have these talks all day, every day. So I'm glad that we got one recorded.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
That's great. All right, cool. Well, hey, everyone else that's listening, make sure you leave your comments on Instagram, X, and YouTube. Leave reviews. That really helps us. Also, send your edits to earbuds at headlinermusicclub.com. Earbuds is one word there. And then also, we have a merch drop. We're working on it. And we're just tightening things up. We're narrowing it down, and we're getting closer. So we're maybe for the holidays. It may be a good little merch drop for the holidays, and it'll be a cool thing that we're working on. So hopefully we'll get that out soon. Big thank you to Kazi's headphones, Scratchy, James, and Good Chill. And also, you got a playlist you want to plug?
Yeah, my playlist on headlinermusicclub.com. All things pop, house, hip hop,
Love it. And then
go peep.
And then Fourth Meal podcast as well. You want to plug that or
Oh,
you also do another podcast. I had to remind
I just recorded one last night. Yeah. Fourth Meal podcast. We try to be more consistent, but we just recorded one last night. So be on the lookout for Fourth Meal on YouTube, Spotify, Apple podcast app, and all that. And Open House has a playlist on Spotify too. So Open House Records, go peep it out.
Nice.
It's all best of the house.
Cool. All right. Well, that's all we got. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next month. I'm out.
Oh man.